paid for.
Yeah.
So tonight's cast, we're live, but tonight's cast is we're talking about. Um, it's a little bit more freeform than usual. We're going over. It's we're going to talk about two topics. The first one is you know all the stuff that kind of is being lost with the shuttering of the Wii U and 3DS eShops. And the other one is going to be discussing what would be our ultimate Star Wars game. Um, and this, the latter topic was prompted by me basically getting excited for the new Star Wars game coming out next month from EA.
Yeah.
So let's get to it.
That's coming out. Yeah, it's coming out next month. I thought it was coming out soon because I saw commercials on it at TV at work. So,
Yeah, it's coming
well,
out next month, April, whatever it's called.
I tell you what, games are coming out. That's for sure.
Yeah. Look, if you're like, I got nothing to play, it's your fault. You brought it on
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
I got
Exactly.
nothing to play. Hey, man, that's not my problem.
Yeah.
Like Reggie Fils-Aimé, not my problem.
Yeah.
um,
Exactly.
but yeah, man. So I guess we can start with the first one. So, how do you feel about functionally speaking, entire games just being lost to the ether with the shuttering of the Wii U eShop? Because a lot of those games did not have physical re-releases.
Um. Well, I mean, we're not ready for always online. Uh, it's just we're not there yet. Um, the fact that they don't have some sort of contingency way of dealing with purchases, um, it's pretty crazy. The fact that they pretty much have because I don't even think there's a way to re-download old games if they shutter the eShops. So I know it costs money to keep these servers up, but again, it's not our problem if they want to keep pushing this digital only future.
That's fair.
So it's just like so it's just like you gotta there's gotta be some sort of way to keep this stuff accessible.
There has
Uh,
to be a middle ground,
yeah, middle ground or something.
but will there be a middle ground? Maybe we're being too optimistic. You ever think about that? Too
It's always a
optimistic?
possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I agree. I do think there needs to be a middle ground. There needs to be something. There needs to be a way that people who have other versions of a game, that have a digital version of the game, like give people the option to download it, um, and play it any way they want to. That'd be cool. And I
yeah,
know some people are going to be like, but I insert reason here why that's not a valid thing. But, you know, it's like you said, it's not my problem that it's expensive to maintain a server. That's not my problem.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's like this, right? It's like if you buy a car, okay, and the radio stations that are like a radio station that you used to be able to get, that radio station goes down. That doesn't mean the radio stops working.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know?
Yeah, yeah. It's. I mean, you're just. I don't know. It'd be kind of nice if there was some sort of like archive company for gaming, where you can purchase this stuff on a particular archive, some sort of archive apparatus. It'll probably be slower, but at least you still have access to
your games.
to those games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Like,
you paid, and I know people are going to say, well, it's a license and you're only getting a limited amount of time. It's like that. No,
yeah.
that makes no goddamn sense. Sorry. Because the thing is like, if you were to pay for the physical version of a game, right? Like, hypothetically speaking, like, let's say you were to get the physical version of a game, right? I mean, the digital
Yeah.
version of the game. A lot of like online shops, you can go and re-download that. Even if the game's been delisted, you can re-download it if you bought a copy before. Like I can do that with the old version of what was the name of it? The old version of fuck. I can do that with the old version of GTA.
Yeah.
Like, even though the older versions, the superior versions of those games have been delisted, I can still download a copy. You know, it's like these companies just, you know, but what this all is all about is that they want to resell you the shit, an inferior version of the shit, for an exorbitantly high price.
Yeah.
You know, and they want people to just accept it. You know, well, you know, it's you're just playing games. I mean, you know, who cares?
Yeah.
And that's annoying. I mean, I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but I find myself being it like I don't. I've said this before in past podcasts. I don't like feeling taken advantaged of, and that's
Yeah.
all these people are doing is just like really, just like they're really taking advantage of people.
Yeah. That's what they do, unfortunately. Um, and, it's not gonna change unless people are like, I don't want to play that. I'm not gonna keep playing their stupid games. I'm just gonna quit buying their stuff.
What they're going to be like? They're going to be like that commercial. I mean that thing. We're not gonna take it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we're not gonna take it. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I mean, come on, man. Like, how are you gonna do this to people? You know, like,
Yeah.
and there are games that have never gotten a physical re-release. None. None. You know. You know, I said this about WiiWare, where there was like all these WiiWare games that never got a physical re-release. Now, hopefully, there are people who got these games and will dump them, like put them on a hack their Wii U, and then dump them on the internets,
Yeah. Yeah,
which
that's
I'd
gonna
be
be the
cool
only way to
with.
get them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, you know, so then people can play them. But I mean, why do people have to go through these exorbitant changes
Yeah.
to play
Yeah.
their
I mean,
games?
because
people are
you
willing
know
to buy the
Starfleet
stuff. I
is
mean, when Persona 4 Golden came out on PC, it's like people are like, there's no reason for me to use an emulator anymore to play it.
I
So I
mean,
just bought it.
there's still a reason because they did a lot of changes to Persona 4 Golden that purist old school fans of Persona 4 were like, I don't like the new voice actor of Chie. I don't like um, the new intro. But here's the thing: it's on PC, so you can mod it to put in the old shit, which is
That
what I
too.
did.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I don't really like the new voice actor, so I changed it. I didn't like the new opening, so I changed it to the old one. I mean, it's, you that's one of the strengths of PC gaming is that if you don't like what someone's doing, I'm pretty sure someone else has that sentiment and created a mod for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, if a game is popular enough, there is a community behind it making it better. But, you know, to each his
Yeah.
own. To each his own. So, with that being said, what else? You have anything else you want to say about it before we move on to the next topic?
Um, it'd just be nice. It'd just be nice if the gaming industry was more interested in preserving games.
Or, in other words, throw the customers a bone.
Yeah.
Throw us a bone. I'm not saying like okay. Look, here's what I'm saying. Okay, if you have digital games, charge people $5 extra. Like maybe say, hey, $5, you can download the digital version of this game. And so let's say everyone's going with like $69.99, $70 games. 75, you get a digital version of this game as well. So if we ever pull the plug on the servers, or when we pull the plug on the servers, or it loses online functionality, boom, you can play a offline version of this game.
Yeah.
It's not a hard ask. It's not like we're asking these executives, hey, your model girlfriend, we want to sleep with her. No.
Yeah.
Hey, give us half your money. No. We just want a basic accommodation.
Yeah.
But that's my own personal opinion. Anything else before we move on to the next topic, sir?
Uh, no, I'm good.
All right, next topic. And this is the big topic for the cast. So I've recently been getting kind of excited about the announcement of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order sequel. Not for the actual game itself, because I still think Cal Kestis is one of the most milk toast boring protagonists I've ever seen. But it's getting me excited for Star Wars again.
Yeah.
Like I said, Fallen Order was one of the most enjoyable was one of the most enjoyable Star Wars games I've played in a long time. I really did. I was like, it took me back to in the day where I would be playing like Super Star Wars, Super Empire Strikes Back, Super Return of the Jedi, and like stuff like that. So playing that game really brought it back. Now I had to get over the fact. Now I had to play that game with mods in order to make it better. Like I had to play it with mods because the lightsabers were too fucking weak in that game. Like
Yeah.
there is no reason that a milk toast basic bitch stormtrooper should be tanking multiple hits from a lightsaber. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And that was a flaw. Like I know they wanted to make the game a Souls-like, so they wanted to make combat difficult. I'm like, this doesn't really like Star Wars lore. I'm kind of a look. Full disclaimer: I'm one of those Star Wars nerds that has the trading card game and the tabletop game, and consumed a lot of the extended universe canon and shit like that. So, uh, I know a lot about Star Wars. And I'm gonna tell you right now, that bullshit in Fallen Order where a guy like Cal Kestis is like hitting someone with a lightsaber and it's taking multiple hits to take someone out with a fucking lightsaber. Not cool.
Yeah.
Okay? The only people who have armor that can tank multiple hits from a lightsaber is like people who have Beskar armor or a Chani weave put into their armor plating. And that shit's like, they're not gonna waste expensive shit like that on Joe Blow average consumer stormtroopers. Okay? Because the Empire is cheap. There's a reason
Yeah.
that they built everything around their TIE fighters. Because TIE fighters are cheap.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They're so the Empire's a bunch of cheapskates, huh?
Yeah. Here, let me explain. Okay, this is me putting on my nerdy Star Wars fan glasses. Okay, so TIE fighters, which stands for Twin Ion Engine fighters. Okay, and their name tells you what they are. They are fast. They are cheap to create, and all of the unnecessary. I'm using air quotes here. Unnecessary components have been stripped out of them. Okay, if you are a Imperial pilot and you've been piloting a TIE fighter for X amount of years and you haven't died, that means you're a really good fucking pilot. And I know some people say,
Yeah.
well, what about Darth Vader's TIE fighter? Darth Vader's TIE fighter is a cheat TIE fighter because he's got shields, okay? Normal TIE fighter pilots, they don't have shields. They don't have atmosphere generators, so they can't, so that's why they have to wear the breathing apparatus and shit. TIE fighters are cheap. Okay? They are cheap as fuck. The only good thing about TIE fighters is that they are cheap to manufacture. The Empire's Imperial Flight Academy pumps out new pilots all the time. The reason why the Rebels had better pilots than the TIE fighter pilots was because the TIE fighter pilots were piloting shit that was designed to take very few hits and blow up. Okay? And the only way to be a good pilot is through basically being able to survive every encounter. Now, you look at the Rebels, like Rogue Squadron. Most of the Rogue Squadron, like they're piloting Y wings, A wings. A wings don't have R2 units, but X wings do. Y wings do. Like every other Rogue ship, Rebel Alliance ship has a R2D2 unit attached, an astromech droid, which basically means they could get into a scrap, survive, get better, and come back as more experienced pilots, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a TIE fighter, it's like you take one hit and you're fucked, you're dead. And so all the money that was put into training that one person is just wasted. It's just down the drain. Um, so that's basically why the rebellion had better pilots, because their pilots survived and got better over time. Whereas the Empire had way more pilots, but most of them sucked.
Yeah.
Except for Darth Vader. But Darth Vader's customized TIE fighter had shields, better armor, like armoring. Like it was faster. It had an overclocked engine. Of course, his TIE fighter's gonna be better. It's like
Yeah.
someone saying, "Hey, man, your shitty basic bitch Ford Mustang. Yeah, that's nice, but I've got a Shelby." And not like the medium $50,000 Shelby, like the $90,000, $100,000 plus Shelby. It's like, of course your
Yeah.
car is gonna be better. Like, why are you even? Like, how the fuck are you gonna be like, oh, shitting on my Mustang when you got a fucking $100,000+ Shelby? It's like. But anyway, yeah. Yeah. The Empire is cheap. Back to my original point. The Empire is cheap. They aren't going to spend a lot of money. Like even the Imperial Academy, um, like only about 10% of the officers who graduated from the Imperial Academy, once the Empire really got started and Palpatine really started to solidify his power, only 10% of the officers were actually competent. Of the 10% of officers that were competent, only 1% of that 10% of the overall 10%. So only a tenth of those people actually got promoted to a position where they could do something about the incompetence of the rest of the Empire.
Yeah.
So that tells you something right there. Okay. The Empire was doomed to was gonna fail eventually anyway, because Palpatine wasn't interested in running the government and keeping people happy. He was gonna rule through fear and intimidation. Hence why he had the Death Star. It's like, oh, this planet is talking shit about how they don't like our regime. Blow it the fuck up. Now, anyone else got any other questions? Like, that's basically how he was gonna, rule the galaxy. And it did really work in the grand scheme of things, because his apprentice turned against him and threw his ass down a shaft. And I know people will say, well, he came back in the third Disney movie. Fuck the third Disney movie. I'm going to pretend none of that happened.
Yeah, that movie was a waste of time. That's what that movie was.
Yeah, well, I saw it on Disney Plus.
Time and money.
Yeah, I saw it on Disney Plus. When I actually went out and saw it, I reviewed it for the local newspaper where occasionally I'll review movies for where I live. But I basically got paid to go see it. I didn't have to pay to see it. I got a review screening of it. So, I didn't have to pay to see it. I did not pay to see Rise of Skywalker. So, yeah. You could say, well, you pay for the Disney Plus service. I do, but there's other shit on Disney Plus. Plus, I have the Hulu bundle, and Hulu has stuff I do like watching. So, yeah. Anyway, so I say all that to say this. Jedi Fallen Order was the first time in a long time that I really was like, oh man, I'm enjoying Star Wars so much. There are some caveats, like I said, because I didn't like how they changed the lore in order to get it in order to gamify Star Wars a little bit too much. That's where I kind of had a problem. But aside from that, like the lore and how they were like, well, we can't have Cal Kestis dismembering humanoid and enemies, and I'm like, but it's a lightsaber. That's what you do with a lightsaber. People get dismembered.
Yeah.
I mean, Mace Windu cut Jango Fett's head off, as he should have, because it's a fucking lightsaber. It's designed to cut shit up. That is its sole purpose. It's designed to cut shit up and deflect bolts. That's it. That's all it does. Anyway, so I got to thinking, what would be the ultimate Star Wars game? Like, if I had my druthers and I could do whatever I wanted and I had all the money in the world, what would be like, man, this is the best shit ever? So, with that being said, I thought to myself, and I said, self, let's go with this thought experiment. And initially, I was like, let's go big. Let's go huge. Let's have like a Star Wars Galaxy level thing, but good. And then I realized I don't want it to be an MMO. Because Star Wars MMOs, they have to dummy the experience so that everyone can have a similar experience. And I'm like, fuck everybody. This is selfish. I want something that would only appeal to the most ardent of Star Wars fans. But you could also get other people on board too. But I wanted something that would basically kind of balance itself out from other Star Wars games. Because other Star Wars games, you always play as a human. I'm tired of playing as a human. It's like, this is a galaxy far, far away with thousands of species, which you ain't gonna play as.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
No. It's a galaxy far, far away, but we will visit the same 4 types of biomes. There's a desert planet, there's a city planet, there might occasionally be a water planet, and there's a jungle planet.
Yeah.
And occasionally an ice planet thrown in. I know people would be like, well, Ryan Johnson changed it up. It was an ice planet which is technically a desert planet, but the desert was a salt planet. Fuck you. It was still a whole bunch of white shit on the ground.
Yeah.
Doesn't count. Next question. So I thought to myself, I said, what would be what would be a Star Wars game that I would play that would expand the universe, be enjoyable, and yet still appeal to a more appeal to both hardcore and casual. And I said to myself, I said, self, I've got it. Um, the title of this game would be called Star Wars Dark Tide. It would take place on a planet that is essentially being torn apart. Like the local government is ineffectual, so most of the power is held in the hands of the illegal seedy underground. But they have their own issues going on because the one gang that basically was holding its shit down and things were relatively peaceful is basically on assault from all sides, and there's gang warfare going on. The government is falling apart, and into the picture comes your character, who happens to be an alien species we have not played before, which leaves a whole bevy. You could be a Rhodian. You can be well, I wouldn't do a Wookiee because Wookiee has been done to death. You can be a Rhodian, a Twi'lek, whatever. Okay, and your character comes home from engineering academy, like a freshly minted engineer. You've graduated, and you're like, I'm coming home. I'm gonna take over the family business. And it turns out that your schooling was paid with a loan that your uncle took out for you. A loan your uncle took out from the local gang, which has come due. So your character has to work for an illegal outfit that you really don't want to work for, starting out just basically doing basic engineering shit, but over time it's gonna go so much deeper. and and that's where the game kind of opens up. You're like, look, I just want to fix ships and basic shit. Why am I doing this? But eventually you're gonna have to help defend the store, maybe kill a guy, help get rid of a body. It's like you're gonna get dragged to the shit. And that's the start of the game. All right. Eventually, dark family secrets in your own family are going to come out. Other things are going to go down. A lot of stuff is going to happen. Okay. You're going to have to make choices that will impact the gaming world. Like, for example, do you side with the gang that gave you the original money? Do you help one of the rivals against that gang and wipe it out? You're going to have memorable characters that you might build an attachment to, etc., etc., and go on a life journey, level up your character, etc., etc. And by the end of it, you'll leave the planet after, depending on how the game branches out, all that type of shit. But leveling up, I didn't want to do like kind of that basic bitch leveling up that a lot of games like to say when they're like, we have RPG elements where they give you a skill tree and you just get points and then you build your character out. I'm thinking leveling up should be more like I think it would be cool if the big thing that they would do in the game is if the game functionally had the level up system was you get better at doing things by doing them, not just through, oh, you gained experience, level up, here's some points, because it's been done to death in every other video game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's been done to death, and at this point, it's getting old. Like, hey, your character's an engineer, so clearly your character's engineering skills would be ahead of their other skills. But, hey, you want to get better at shooting a blaster? Equip a blaster, go shoot shit with a blaster. Hey, you want to get better at using a vibroblade? Equip a vibroblade, go kill people or things with a vibroblade. Right? Your character wants to become force sensitive. Go places where apparently the force is strong and meditate there. Your character will become force sensitive. Okay? Um, that's all I'm saying. All right. What are your thoughts? Agree, disagree, critique?
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. I also like the idea of variations on different planets, because the problem with Star Wars is like the planet is just one thing. It's like desert
Desert
planet,
planet, jungle planet,
beach
city
planet,
planet,
jungle.
water planet.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want to go to Tatooine? It's not Tatooine. Is it a desert? Are people scrounging in trash? It's Tatooine. It's Jakku. It's Tatooine.
What about like a tropical ice wonderland where where tropical vegetation has evolved to withstand uh, very cold temperatures, or I don't know, a sort of
That'd be cool.
um, something like that. Like
Could
just
you? Let's expound upon that. Imagine a planet in a Star Wars game that you go to, and there's a day and night cycle. And during the day, the trees look like it's a tropical paradise. And once night falls, it starts to snow, and the trees, because this is an alien biome, they
yeah.
winterize themselves, and it gets fucking cold, and you have to. It's like Hoth, where you have to have warmth or you'll die. Shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
saying, just it's an alien world. You have all of this amazing canvas, and you keep on going. It's like you live. Let's say you live in a great foodie city, but you don't go to any of the local places. You just go to McDonald's, Burger King, and Taco Bell all the goddamn time.
yeah, yeah.
That's Star Wars.
One of the silliest planets that they came up with in the new series is the casino planet, where the planet's just one big giant casino. I'm like, this is kind of dumb.
Yeah.
As a
Yeah, I
and
was
a lot
like,
of
what?
imagination look and sound
Really?
exact.
I don't
And some
know.
new characters, some people you've.
But that's my opinion. That's um I think that if the game did well enough, you could expand upon it. Like the end of the first game is the choices that you made submit what happened to that planet. Because I'm ripping off Mass Effect. Because Mass Effect in a lot of ways felt like Star Wars. Um,
Yeah,
so all those choices. Let's say in the first game you side with the Hut gang that lent you the money. You help them out. You help the leader of this Hut gang solve her problems. She gets control back, cleans out the people who betrayed her in the local government, instills her own puppets. But there's order. There's crime, but she's the least dirty of all the criminals. Like her big thing is, look, I control the spaceport, I control the docks. You want to take something off planet or bring it on planet, give me my cut, we're good. And I don't do slavery, I don't do drugs. That's
yeah,
it. She's like, look, listen, as long as we do that, we're cool. Smuggling, sure. As long as it's not slaves or drugs, we're cool. Okay? Like we're golden. Weapons, okay. Just as long as you're not using against my people or any of my shit, we're golden. Alright? You helped her out. You got the most optimal route, you found out that your adopted uncle, your uncle is, your adopted uncle who happens to be human, is an escaped Jedi. He's been incommunicado, became a drunk. He acts and a spice addict. Because he was too goddamn force sensitive, so the drugs kind of dull him hearing all the fucked up shit the Empire's been doing, so he doesn't get caught. And he's like, shit, you've gotten him cleaned up. And he's like, shit, I'm sorry I accidentally almost got you served into indentured servitude to the Hut cartel on the planet. Oops. But now that I've reestablished my connection with the Force, you're Force sensitive, but I can't train you because I'm a burnt out fuck up. I can't do it. But I know someone who can. I can send you to them. And that's the end of the game. Like, you go off planet. You finally get to go off planet. like maybe in the game you can go up to the space station because that's another location, and there's like stores and its own shit going on in the space station that like is a major hub of trade and shit. But that's it. But now you can finally leave that planet. The second game opens up the things. You've got like maybe 4 or 5 planets to explore. Um, and your characters on their journey to see if they can become a Force user, a Jedi or a Sith or whatever. I really don't want to go Sith Lord because it's Sith is too easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People like, oh, I want to shoot lightning and kill people, but they're evil though. I mean, do you get tired of being evil all the time?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I was playing what's it called? Harry Potter, and it's like, it's Slytherin. It's like you can only play Slytherin for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But that's my own personal opinion. You have any thoughts on it?
Uh, no, it sounds like a pretty interesting idea. But
So, with that being said, do you have any thing you want to see in Star Wars where you're like, man, this needs to be done?
yeah, I agree with you. Maybe an alien species that hasn't been mentioned in the a lot of the movies or the books. Maybe something in the far distant future where everybody is already where all the old characters are pretty much dead. Uh, kind of start off a new game, Star Wars game Star Wars universe or Star Wars timeline specific to a video game. Um, more diverse planets. Uh, also, let's see. Obviously, you know, also want choice to influence the world. Complex morality system that both involves obviously you can become a Jedi or Sith Lord or something in between the two.
A
Uh,
gray Jedi.
may, yeah, something like a mercenary class or something that's kind of between the two.
Hmm,
Uh,
fair.
and that's basically my basic idea of what I would like to see out of a Star Wars game.
That's fair. That's fair. Um, but that's my own personal thing. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I'm tired of them just not really doing anything interesting with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just the same shit over and over and over again, and they never do anything interesting. So here, let me check this out. Yeah, it's been delayed from this month to April 28th, so it's coming out next month.
Okay.
Yeah, it was supposed to come out March 17th, but you know. Respawn says it needs 6 weeks to apply extra polish. You know what? They probably found a game breaking bug and they're like, shit, we got to get this shit fixed.
Yeah.
But that's my own personal opinion. I know some people will disagree because people are allowed to disagree because we live in a world where people are allowed to have opinions. Unless you're a dick, then fuck your
Yeah.
opinions. I know that's terrible. People are gonna get mad by that. People are gonna get mad when I say that. Like, how could you say that? You should respect everyone's opinion. But what if their opinion's stupid, though? What if they have a really stupid opinion? it's like, it's like, what if they say something that's so stupid that you just gotta be like, is this person fucking with me or are they serious? Because if they're serious, we have a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like this
Well, at
person
least they're gonna
says,
at
no,
least
go
they're gonna
ahead.
fix the game. So at least they're actually gonna fix the game rather than just be like, well,
Fuck
we're
it.
just gonna release it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, fuck it. This game's broken as shit. Oh, well, people are tired of people releasing games that are that broken. People are getting tired of that shit.
Yeah.
You know, people are getting tired of coming out with games. It's like, oh, this game is functionally really fucking broken. And I can understand. You know, I can appreciate people getting tired of people are getting tired of people selling them broken ass shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I would get tired of people selling me broken ass shit.
Yeah.
You know, could you imagine? Could you imagine some shit like that? Like imagine every time you went to a restaurant and you ordered something, they always fucked up your order. And I don't mean like slightly, like, it's supposed to come with 3 rolls on the side. They only gave me 1. It's like I don't need that much carbs anyway. I mean like major fuck ups, like, oh, I ordered the steak. They gave me the chicken, and it was undercooked.
Yeah.
You know, some shit like that. It's like, why do I keep on coming here?
But that's gamers. They keep going back to the same shitty restaurant over and over and over again.
Yeah,
Thinking they'll get it right. Yeah, all the cooks and all the chefs that made the restaurant, what it was, or they all left and did their own, decided to make their own restaurant, or just decided to retire. Look, it's not the same place anymore.
yeah. They were
People
like, we're
can get
done.
act.
Yeah, we're done. I mean, that's
Yeah,
that's what it is. Whenever you hear about someone leaving your favorite company, your video game company, you're like, well, I mean, the chances are their next, like the talent left.
yeah,
You know, I mean, let's keep it 100% real. I know some people are gonna get mad about this. Um, but when Hironobu Sakaguchi left uh, SquareSoft, have they made a good Final Fantasy since?
yeah.
You know, it's
Not
like,
really.
I mean, it's some people gonna get mad, but I mean, some people are gonna be like, "How dare you?" But come on, man, have they made a good Final Fantasy since?
Yeah, exactly.
So think about that. So think about that shit. You know, next time people are like, "Oh, well, you know, it's important. It's important." So with that being said, I guess we've got enough time for maybe one more for free topic and unpopular opinion slash unpopular opinion. Do you have anything that you think we should bring up that you're like, why aren't more people talking about this? Or do you have an unpopular opinion like, I got to get this off my chest? People need to know about this.
Let's see. Apparently, people are on the switched, whatever it's going to be called, rumors like wine on rice. People are talking about, the power of the Switch and what. It's like, no, I would not. I would not cling too close to rumors because you're probably going to end up being disappointed. So.
Either way, yeah. Here's what I'm gonna say. I am not going to give a fuck about a Switch successor until I see what the specs are and if the Switch successor can functionally do basic shit that I think it should be able to do, like 720p, 60 frames per second, solid. Um, I'm not asking for 144. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People get mad when you say that. Like, well, you shouldn't. It's like Nintendo's never. No bullshit. Fucking bullshit. Let me explain something. Everyone's like, oh, Nintendo never had power. Let me explain something to you, okay? The SNES had games like F-Zero. F-Zero was a technical marvel for its time.
Yeah.
Star Fox, technical marvel for its time. The N64 gave us 3D gaming as we know it. Like modern 3D gaming wouldn't exist without the N64 as we know it, okay? The GameCube gave us F-Zero. Once again, I'm going to go back to F-Zero. F-Zero X on the N64 was 480p, 360p, 30 frames per second locked on the N64. F-Zero GX on the GameCube was 480p, 60 frames per second, locked. Fucking locked. All right?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that shit. Oh, they never had power. Bullshit. I don't want to hear that shit.
Yeah.
Okay? So, I don't think it's too much to ask. They're like, it's OLED. I don't give a fuck about because here's the thing. If you have a traditional Switch that can, if the next console docks in your TV, if you have a smart TV that's like 2K or 4K, it's gonna up-res the shit to a higher resolution than anything you're ever gonna have on that little fucking shitty ass screen. So it's a moot point.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, if you have the thing where in docked it's like even if docked it was 720 30 frames locked, I would take it. And when it was in handheld mode, 720 docked, locked, I take it. But if it's like 1080 and the frames are all over the fucking place, who cares? There's a lot of games I got on my Switch that run like ass on the Switch that I also have on PC that run great. So I don't want to hear that shit. I'm tired of the excuses. All right? So until we hear what the specs are going to be like, because we know they're going to have the usual lineup of games if this is true, I don't care.
Yeah.
But That's my opinion. You have any thoughts?
No. No, no thoughts at all.
All right. Anything you want to pimp out before we wrap things up and call the end of the cast?
Yeah, Project Console, 7:30 or 6:30. Actually, I think I'm gonna move it back to 7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
All right.
Be a
Okay.
little bit easier. So
All right. Whatever works for you.
yeah, yeah.
This is Mr. Red Fox, owner provider BS Busters. We have a podcast every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. to typically 9, but we did it early today because I realized that the one place I wanted to eat dinner tonight closes at 9, and I'm like, ah, shit, I gotta, I gotta start early. With that
Yeah.
being said, I'm gonna start streaming once I get my new PC up and running. Well, it is up and running, but I got a really good deal on some hard drives, on some NVMe hard drives and coolers for them, and some memory, which will take my new PC, which is at 32, which is fairly decent, up to 64, which is even better. Uh, and put some more hard drive space in it, and that's gonna be my streaming PC. So look so forward to that. I don't know when I'll start streaming. I might do Twitch or Kick, one of the two. Although Kick seems to be a little bit of a wild west over there. People are streaming porn on Kick.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so, if you don't have access to the internet and other places to get your kick, well, no pun intended. Go on, kick. So that's the end of the podcast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. We had some new subscribers join the channel. Thank you for joining. If you would like to get in touch with me, you can reach me on the Discord link, or you can leave emails to me at the email for the channel, mrredfoxbsbuster@gmail.com. Or you can just leave a comment in the comment section of my videos. I will start getting back to making more videos and uploading them, but I've been busy. Shit's been going down. Life's been a motherfucker. So with that being said, that's the end of the podcast. Rate, comment, share, subscribe, peace, and have a good day.